Hiya, Hill Gaming, where I share my in this live stream. I am asking the question. I already figured out the ending in Resident Evil Village. So sit back, relax, grab your Jill sandwich, but as always, enjoy the live stream. So before I start answering my own question, I'm going to go back to the events of Resident Evil 7. In that game, there was a very advanced fungus, a mold. Once somebody was infected by this, they would start seeing and hearing things that simply were not there. So basically, the person's reality became extremely distorted. So the world around them would gradually shape and shift into a fake reality. That is the effect of being infected by this fungus. And that's what happened in Resident Evil 7. Even when Ethan was infected by this fungus at the end of the game, there's a scene where you see Ethan sitting in the Baker family estate with Jack Baker and Zoe Baker in the distance. And Jack Baker is having a conversation with Ethan saying, look, we're not really crazy people. We're not really killers. We're not like this. It's because of the fungus. It made us do this. It made us be this way. Please free us, Ethan. But that didn't actually happen. Because, of course, Jack Baker was already well infected, and I think he was actually killed at that stage. So what Ethan was seeing and hearing was not real. His conscious, his brain, his view of reality was completely distorted as a result of being infected by this fungus. So he saw what he viewed to be Jack Baker talking to him, but in reality none of that happened. Winters, Ethan's wife, was infected by this fungus. She heard voices telling her, kill, harm, telling her to do these sinister things. She had no control over her actions as well, by the way. But she would see things and hear things that were not there. That's the basic side effect of being infected by this fungus, seeing and hearing things that are not there. Your reality being distorted is the way I would put it. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. So I restarted this game earlier today on my second PlayStation Network account. The reason I created a new PSN account was because I wanted to link my PSN to my Capcom ID and to interact with ResidentEvil.net or RE.net, because I think it's really cool. It's a really cool feature. Keeps track of your stats and everything, all your stats, in a really detailed kind of a way. But long story short, I restarted the game, and I noticed more than ever before something very peculiar, which I will gradually explain in the live stream. And I'll gradually answer that question. Have I figured out the ending already? So that's what's going to happen in this live stream. So for that, I'm going to start a new game. Standard difficulty. Now pay close attention to this story here.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence.
Forest.
The bushes empty.
Bushes.
Yet determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free from Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine and under branch, and into the forest deep. Feeling strange eyes upon her, the girl recalled Mother's scary bedtime tales, and her throat became bone dry.
Scary bedtime tales.
Then the Bat Lord appeared. He greeted her warmly and bit his own wing. "Come, child, quench your thirst," he said. So she drank the thick, dark
She drank the blood.
smiled with joy. Passing through the graveyard,
Graveyard.
menacing storm clouds loomed, and the air turned bitingly cold. The girl was shivering in her thin clothes. Then a dark weaver appeared, and with a click of his fingers crafted mist into a beautiful dress.
Mist.
"Come, child, warm yourself," he coaxed. So she clothed herself and smiled with joy. Across waters deep and ominous she went, hoping a boat she found would carry her home. But hunger's grip tightened and her heart grew heavy. Then the Fish King appeared and offered one of his many fins. "Come, child, eat your fill." So the girl ate and smiled with joy once more. Continuing on, she soon entered the forest's dark heart. Then an iron steed appeared, bearing a beautiful golden gear. The creature said nothing as the girl approached and snatched what she thought was another gift. The horse grew angry and summoned the other monsters.
Monsters.
Terror filled the girl's heart as the wild wind rose around the beasts. Suddenly, a witch appeared, dark yet regal.
Witch, dark but regal. This is a story that Mia Winters is reading to her baby Rose, which Ethan is listening to. And it's called Village of Shadows.
There.
What is with the creepy story? She's only 6 months old.
And he's not too impressed
Source said it was traditional.
by Mia reading this story.
A local
He's
tale.
creeped out by it.
Besides, Rose doesn't seem to mind.
Because she doesn't understand it. Thank God. We moved here so that she wouldn't have to deal with any of that, remember?
There's nothing wrong with my memory. You're just being paranoid.
It's not...
I'm not paranoid, Mia. I'm figuring out the ending to the game. Okay, bitch?
Then, go cautiously take your daughter to bed. We'll finish dinner.
Okay, so this story, this bedtime story that...
Rose, your mother doesn't want to remember it. I can't blame her.
that Mia Winters was reading to her.
Did you say something?
And say anything.
I'll put her down.
Shush. Who is reading to her infant baby is a complete story. It is a tale. It is a local tale called Village of Shadows. Now, there was a lot in that story, and I noticed this when I was first playing Resident Evil Village a couple of nights back at launch. There was a lot in that story. A lot in that story that happens once Chris Redfield captures Ethan Winters and Ethan wakes up in this village. There's references to witches. There's references to Ethan going over, like branches and vines in this dark forest. There's references to drinking blood. You can even see a castle in the background. There's a graveyard referencing the story. There is monsters referenced in this story. The whole idea of like a mother and a daughter and a father. What is this right now? Mia is the mother. She's in the kitchen making dinner. I'm the father eating Winters, and my baby is there, and she's my daughter. So the story tells a story of a mother and a daughter and a father. The father is busy working, was hard at work, busy working. I'm telling you, every single thing that was told in that story is referenced in the main story itself, because tall ugly vampire lady is referenced as a witch. One of her daughters drinks blood. There's a graveyard in the village.
Hurry up and put Rose.
Shut up. So I'm telling you, that fictional story, The Village of Shadows, that was read to Rose Winters, it is all referenced when you actually arrive at the village. And that's not where it ends. I'm not going to show you a few things. Starting with, we're going to go over here, and we're going to have a look at this wine bottle.
Once you're a big girl, we'll have a drink together, all right?
Those are two very big bottles of wine. Now, when you arrive, now I want to point out, this is Mia and Ethan Winters' home, okay? This is their home. This is not the village. This is not the castle. And this is before Chris Redfield bursts in and kills Mia, apparently, and takes away Rose Winters and Ethan Winters. This is before all of that. Those two big bottles of wine. There is a bottle of wine heavily referenced when you arrive in the castle, because the tall, ugly vampire lady and her daughters are massively into wine making, and well, they actually add in blood into the wine. But anyway, wine is heavily referenced, and a wine bottle also, more importantly, is heavily referenced in the castle. Now, that's not where it ends also. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. Believe you me, there's a lot more.
I've got something nice for you. Once you go put Rose to bed.
I bet you do.
Don't get too close to me when I'm cooking, babe.
Okay, girl. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is actually upstairs. Oh no, it's actually here. This is a picture of what appears to be a snowy, like foresty area, and I would have to zoom in here, and I would like to say that's a wolf, but I don't think it is. But it could be a wolf. But nonetheless, it's a snowy forest. And one of the biggest things I want to show you.
There. It's like I said to your mom. That book's too scary for you.
Is in the room where we need to lay Rose. I'm going to come back to the bat room actually in a second, because there's a lot I want to show you. I hope we get time to actually put this live stream together effectively. Whoa, it's so dark.
Gotta do a deep clean before Rose starts walking.
That's not where I need to go.
Almost there, honey.
Yeah, so the next thing I want to show you is in here. Now, again, bear in mind, This is Ethan's home. This is not the castle. This is not the village. This is well before Ethan gets taken to the village. So I want to pay attention to something. Where is it now again? So I have the curtains open and the sun is shining through and it's just so dark. Or like the screen is dark. So I'm looking for a plush. There we go. So
Well, hi there, little Rose.
now, I mentioned earlier that the bottle of wine, the 2 bottles of wine down in the kitchen, I mentioned that there is a bottle of wine and there's winemaking is heavily referenced in the castle area. So there's an actual bottle of wine and you know, the crazy bitches living in the castle, they're all into the winemaking. Now you might just say, Johnny, they'll just like wine, what's the big deal? Where are you going with this? Well, this exact plush that I just picked up there in my home ends up in the village. The exact same one. Now, I don't think like whoever was capturing, as they called it, the package, because that's what they were calling Rose Winters, a package. They obviously didn't view her as a human. They obviously had no like heart and sympathy, humanity, like in terms of like kidnapping Rose Winters. I don't think someone said, we'll bring the plush. Fuck off.
Time for bed.
You know? So that plush ends up in the village. Now, something I want to point out as well. Okay, this basically says that Ethan Winters went through a lot in Resident Evil 7. And it would break any man mentally. But he was also infected as well by that mole that I discussed earlier. That's a lot, and he is still dealing with it. Like he speaks about that. I accidentally mentioned what happened 3 years ago, and she blew it up at me. We finally settled down in our new life in Europe and can bring Rose up properly. But I still feel like a part of me is trapped in that hellhole back in Louisiana. So mentally, he's still there. He hasn't managed to cope. He hasn't managed to find closure. He can't speak to his wife about it because she doesn't want to speak about it. I know that Mia doesn't like talking about it, but we can't just forget everything and pretend it didn't happen. Shouldn't we face what happened there so we can live our lives with Rose without it hanging over our heads? We are that much at least. I know Mia knows too. So next thing I want to bring your attention, so I just wanted to focus there, like the fact that Chris or Ethan Winters' mind is just not in a good place right now. He's still stuck in Louisiana. And I want to pay attention to this now. Just look at the end. This is basically a checkup on Rose Winters, and everything was fine. The screenings, her hearing, vision, touch, reflex were all fine. However, other notes: results for additional fungal pathogen tests will be provided by the BSAA. Now, the BSAA, they are like, they handle anything to do with biological weapons, and technically, like the fungus is a biological weapon, and Rose Winters, like is a baby that Mia Winters gave birth to. Mia Winters was infected by this fungus, so like the BSA would be very interested in Rose Winters and the possibility that there could still be pathogen of fungal found in her blood, which I'm fully convinced there is, which I'll speak more about. So it's all coming together now, isn't it, lads? Okay, so
Rose is fine.
Be careful, I don't accidentally put the baby down. Now, this scrapbook here that we see, again in Ethan's home, it's a nice little scrapbook of Mia and Ethan and their lovely memories and the birth of their daughter, Rose. Now, when you get to the village,
I wish it could stay like this forever.
just like the wine bottle, just like the baby plush, that scrapbook, well, not the exact same scrapbook, but a scrapbook appears in the village. Like, either there's a very massive coincidence, or something really weird is going on, and I'm going to discuss that something really weird is going on. So far we've established that the wine bottle that's in the kitchen right now in this home is represented in the castle. The monkey plush belonging to Rose Winters, the exact same one I may add, is found in the village. A scrapbook like this is found in the village as well. Everyone and their nans know the ending already. What have you figured out? Hey, I am not one of those people, right, that go online and look up spoilers. So less of that now, boy. And welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, buddy. How are you doing, man? How are you getting on? Very welcome to my...
fussing if I don't get her to bed soon.
Just eating. Very welcome to my discussion live stream, where I feel like I have figured out the ending already. And you know me and Resident Evil, man, I am not going to be looking up spoilers for Resident Evil, not by a long shot. I just love the lore of Resident Evil, as you know. And I just feel like I've just figured out something very big about the story of this game. So the story that was told at the very beginning of the game, again, it's a fictional story that, what is the ending? I will tell you, not the exact ending, but I will answer that question in my live stream. Have I figured out the ending already? I will definitely answer that question. Don't you worry. So the story that was told at the very beginning of the game, The Village of Shadows, which is a fictional story that Mia Winters got in the local area. She was reading it to Rose Winters. Have you played Resident Evil 7 before Resident Evil 8? I have indeed. I have played Resident Evil 7 before Resident Evil 8. And you are very welcome to Green Hill Gaming, man. How are you doing? And I hope you enjoy my live stream where I am discussing the possibility that I may have figured out the ending to the game already. And please no spoilers if you know anything, because I swear to God I will kick the shit out of you. So, it's a fictional story. Mia Winters is reading it to her baby, Rose Winters. And literally every single thing that's referenced in that fictional story is represented in Ethan's life after he is essentially kidnapped by Chris Redfield and brought to this village. The only game I missed is Resident Evil 6. Yeah, thankfully I missed that one. As they say, missed me with that gay shit. So, when this, dark creature appears and gives the child the blood, hope you play Resident Evil 6 soon. I will not be playing Resident Evil 6. Unlucky. So one of the ugly tall vampire lady's daughter, all of them are fascinated about drinking blood. So basically, the drinking of blood is referenced in the Shadowwood Village, the fictional story, and that happens when Ethan arrives at the castle. Monsters are referenced in this story. Monsters happen in the village and the castle. There's a graveyard referenced in that story, and there's a graveyard when Ethan arrives in the village. There is so much referenced in that fictional story that happens when Ethan arrives at the village and the castle. So that was a story. Now we're in Ethan's home, right, where he has a scrapbook, he has a teddy, like a monkey teddy for his daughter. There is a wine bottle, and all of those appear in the village and the castle. I spoke about that. Ethan is just, he hasn't managed to get over the incident at Louisiana. And I spoke at the very beginning of the live stream about like what the fungal infection can actually do, or the fungal infection that appeared in Resident Evil 7. Once you're infected by this, you will eventually start seeing things and hearing things that are not there. So your reality gets extremely distorted. That is what happens. You get a really distorted reality. So just give me 2 seconds there. Resident Evil 8 feels like Resident Evil 4. Yeah, it's very like Resident Evil 4. Very like, a lot of people have been saying that actually. Oh, so the next thing I want to show you,
Can't keep your mother waiting. She's scary when she's angry.
She definitely is scary when she's angry. Next thing I want to show you is in the toilet. Do you think the old one in the village has a part to play? Oh, definitely. She's a shady character indeed. The one that's like, the bell tolls for us all. Ah! Sorry. I will never do that again. So, you mean the one with the skulls and all that? No, I want to show you these. Mia's medication. She's been on a strict regimen ever since the incident. Now, in that incident, she was infected, again, by a very advanced fungus that made her do things that she just really didn't want to do, like hurt people, kill people, made her go psycho. She had seeing things and hearing things, hallucinating. Her entire reality was distorted. She went through some serious shit. So, of course, she's going to be on medication to control not only the mental effects of what happened, but possibly control the infection itself. Now, Ethan was also infected to the point where, again, I mentioned earlier that he actually saw Jack Baker sitting down having a conversation with him, but it wasn't happening. It wasn't actually real. So Ethan was infected, and he obviously went through a lot of mental trauma as well. So I presume he will be on medication. What if he isn't taking his medication? Keep that in mind. What if he isn't taking his medication? Okay? Now there's also, there's a newspaper, but I don't really need... Oh, there's something else. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. I'm hyped, lads. I'm fucking hyped. I swear to God, I'm hyped. Okay, I need to go into another room here now. Where is that other room? That's up the other side. Does it worth it to play round 2 after beating the game? Oh, it would have a lot of replay value. 100%, man. I got to rush this live stream now. I'm sorry. 100%, man, has a lot of replay value. So you unlock a mode called the Mercenaries. You'd know the Mercenaries if you played Resident Evil 4. It's a very fun mode. Now, there's something in here I want to show you. You know, pitch that because it's the way I have my lighting right now in this room. The actual room that I'm in. So there's something I want to show. No, that's just, never mind this actually. This is just, no, this doesn't really matter so much.
About this already.
But I do want to bring you to the attention of a bookcase, which is, sorry, no, I literally can't see a thing because it's very bright in the room that I'm actually in right now, the actual room that I'm in. I think the bookcase is somewhere. Sorry, no. You know, let me just close my curtains. Think about like HDR and 4K, like you really have to. That's slightly better. But I don't think I'm actually in the wrong room, actually. No, I'm not. Okay. Now this, I swear to God, I nearly got a stroke when I actually saw this earlier, when I restarted it. Okay. A historical look into the architecture of Eastern European castles and keeps by George Trevor. Who the fuck is George Trevor, you're asking? Who the fuck is George, huh? George of the fucking jungle, is it? Who the fuck is he? I'll tell you right now who he is. Someone peep in the window. Oh, Jesus Christ, imagine. Hello. Did you ever see a show called Friday Night Dinner? Hello. There was a guy called Jim in it. Anyway, okay, never mind that. Right. Okay, George Trevor is the fucking architect who designed the Spencer family estate and many other estates as well. No, well, he didn't just make Spencer family estates, and I'm presuming this is just an Easter egg. The whole George Trevor thing is an Easter egg anyway. But the fact of the matter is, he is George Trevor. He was a very famous architect, and he did design the Spencer family estate the Spencer mansion for Oswald Spencer. He was eventually killed by Oswald Spencer, but that's a very long story. But It's the fact that a historical look into architecture of Eastern European castles. We're in Eastern Europe right now. So Ethan was reading this book about castles. He was reading this book about castles. Just keep all this in mind now. He's living in the house with the monkey plushie, with the bottle of wine, with the scrapbook. He heard that story being read out to his daughter, Rose, about the shadow of the village of shadows, about all these monsters and witches and drinking blood and graveyards and going through vine and bushes trying to escape monsters. He should be on medication, and he's reading books about castles. Now, have I forgot anything? Have I left anything out? Okay. I just want to... anything else? Lads, I think that's just it. So I'm not going to put my baby to sleep. My baby. That's on fucking hype, seriously. Was there anything else I might have even missed, to be honest with you? I don't think so. Okay, let's put her to bed. Let's skip this. Night night. Oh no, I shouldn't have skipped that. But that's not really important. He basically said, I'm going to protect you against those scary monsters in that storage, he says, right? That's basically what he would have said, but I cut him off. I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm sorry. Just very conscious of the time right now on this live stream. So we're going back into the kitchen for Mamma Mia. Ah! Mamma Mia! Oh, I cracked myself up. Her name is Mia. She's the mama. Mamma Mia. Okay. Nobody cares. I thought it was funny. I didn't even mean to say that. Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia, what you cooking? You cooking some spaghetti bolognese. Ah, yeah. Bottle of wine.
Sleeping like a baby.
I also want to point out, actually, there is a scene, actually, where there's a big, massive pot of stew, actually, as well. I don't know if there's anything to be said about that, but...
Oh, hands off, mister. It's ciorba de legume. It's a local recipe.
No, I believe.
You've gone full native, haven't you?
I
Local wine,
believe.
too. But if you're gonna keep sulking all evening, maybe you shouldn't have any.
I can
You
fly.
have to stop worrying.
I believe I can touch
You in
the sky.
Louisiana, the pregnancy, Chris moving us here,
I was cracking up.
military training, it all happened so fast, you know?
Well, at least we're all together.
Bang!
You, me,
Oh, wait, too
Rose.
soon.
Now, everything's gonna
Seriously, think we can just forget about what happened in Louisiana?
be...
Yeah, we can't
happened
forget
so
about it.
long ago. I don't understand why you are so...
Bang.
Mia, get down!
I want to point out that I feel like everything that's happening right now is real. Everything that's happening right now is real. Yeah, this is all real that's happening right now, okay?
Mia!
So point that out. Okay, let's hear your ending. I'm getting to it! I'm building it up, man. I'm building it up, man. So this is the part where Chris Redfield and his buddies arrive to fuck up Mia Winters and take my baby.
God!
How dare you?
Chris? What the hell?
Sorry, Ethan.
No! What? Why?
Why? Good question. Why, Chris?
Go on, move!
All clear. Rose? What the hell you doing with my daughter?
Package secure, sir.
Mia was traded in for Big Titty Vamp.
I said get your hands off her!
Ethan, no.
But why? I just want my baby. I just want my baby.
Get him out.
In the trailer, he screams, "Why? Why?" I know, yeah. Why, Chris? I just hope I get enough time to actually do this live stream.
Hey, Doc.
Flashback scene. Daughter's results back. Now remember, there was tests done to see was there any pathogens of the fungus in Rose Winter. So she would have had the results back. And remember, the BSAA were the ones handling that. They were the ones looking into that. And Chris Redfield is the captain of the BSAA.
No problem. We'll be there.
I'll be
How's
there.
the doc? She'll see us next week. Hey, now. Think positively, all right? We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else. I keep telling you, it's not Rose that I'm worried about.
Well, then what are you worried about? Look, she's gonna be fine. I just know it. What else matters?
We matter, Ethan! You matter! You just
Mia, what are you talking about? Is there something you're not telling me? Come on, talk to me. Damn it.
Work.
I have to take this.
Is busy work? And no, Ethan wakes up.
Jesus.
So we're not in the house anymore. We are not in the house anymore.
Where's Chris Redfield? And Rose? Fuck. What the hell happened here?
Okay, I'm not going to bother reading any documents here. I'm just going to get straight into. So we're no longer in the house. And look, deep in the forest, the dark, dark forest, which is where I am. Under branch and what the hell was in the story? Branch and vine. Remember the story that Mia was reading to her daughter Rose? Deep in the dark forest she went. I know I'm not a girl, but still. You can kind of see what I'm getting at, but I'll put it all together now in a few minutes. So all of a sudden, Ethan finds himself in a dark forest, which Mia was describing in that story. And look at him, he's blood already now. He cut his hand. I don't think it's no mystery that he cut his hand. So already, what was referenced in that story, the Village of Shadows, is coming to life right now in Ethan's world. So we're no longer in the house, lads. Let's keep that in mind. I will speed run through this as fast as I can. So I haven't come across anything important in this area just yet. I just want to show you one thing, that's all I want to show you. And then I'll explain what the hell I'm actually talking about. So I am getting to answering my question, don't worry. So I'm going to skip these scenes, but unfortunately you can't skip all the scenes.
What's it all this?
What is this? As good old Barry Burton would say. A lot of branches around.
Where the hell am I?
And oh look, it's a castle! It's a castle! I wonder, is it one of the castles that he was reading about in the book about the architectural history of Eastern European castles? I wonder. Or is it a castle that was kind of even referenced a little bit actually in that story that Mia Winters was reading out? I mean, the story was literally called Village of Shadows. Like, it was literally called Village of Shadows, like. So what I'm looking for now is something. Okay. Oh look! Oh my god! That looks so much like the monkey Teddy plush that was back in my home. Oh, what a coincidence! What a coincidence! And this is where I'm going to explain what I'm... This is where I'm going to answer my question. I don't think it's a coincidence that the exact same plushie that was back in Ethan's home, Baby Rose's Teddy Monkey, appears just randomly in this cot in this village, just randomly. That is not a coincidence. Nobody brought that to the village, okay? Nobody brought that to the village. Okay, I'm going to explain. I feel that Ethan Winters' reality has been deeply distorted as a result of still being infected by the mold, or maybe he got reinfected by the mold, which I'll get to in a second. So I think what Ethan is experiencing right now is not 100% real. Am I saying that there's an imaginary village? No. Am I saying there's an imaginary castle and imaginary people? No. I just think that he's experiencing reality in a distorted way. And that can happen to people, all different kind of mental health issues like schizophrenia, whatever else. Like they see things and hear things completely different to what reality actually is. You know, so it distorts the view on reality. I think that's what's happening Ethan right now. I don't think he's actually seeing that plushie. Okay? And later on you get to a castle and you see a big bottle of wine, you see a scrapbook, and you will have these monsters that are drinking blood, which was referenced in the story as well. I think he's still infected. He is still infected. And I think that it all went down when Chris kidnapped him. So maybe just with everything going on, with just the whole, and again, Ethan is still dealing with the mental trauma of what happened back in Louisiana in Resident Evil 7. And I still feel like he is still feeling the effects of the infection, and he was possibly taking the same medication that Mia was taking, which you saw earlier as well. Maybe he's not taking his medication, and he's having a really hard time. So along comes Chris Redfield, shoots up Mia Winters, seals his daughter. Maybe that triggered something. Maybe something snapped in his mind, and he just brought them all back to this. Maybe he just triggered the fungus deep down inside of him, the mental trauma. And that is why his reality has just been completely distorted. Or else somebody connected to Chris Redfield, or Chris Redfield himself, intentionally infected him. So I think that everything was real. Like, Ethan Winters' reality was perfectly fine up until the moment where Chris Redfield arrived, shot Mia, and kidnapped Rose Winters. I think the second he wakes up in this so-apparent village, I think everything around him is completely altered. His reality is altered. And it's not a representation of reality. I think that when he heard that creepy story that Mia was reading to Rose, the Village of Shadows, I think it stuck to him. It stuck to his psyche, it stuck to his brain, and I think that it has everything that he heard of that story. I think it's been transcended into this altered reality. It crossed over into this altered reality, which is why later on he comes across monsters that are drinking blood and sees the graveyard and the castle. He's reading books about architectural castles as well. And in his own home, there was that plushie, there was the scrapbook and the bottle of wine, which is all represented in the village and in the castle. So I think that's what happened. I think that's not necessarily the ending, but I think that's going to be explained. I think when you get to the end of the game, you're going to find out that is what happened. So, lads, thank you so much for watching the live stream. Hopefully we'll find out what actually happens in Resident Evil Village, and stay tuned for that as well coming up. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Green Hill Gaming.